You're going to want to use these whenever you're handling the stove or if you're putting together the stovepipe. So far this is what the stove looks like. It's all together. So far I'm pretty happy. So on this damper it comes with a knurl handled knob. That's usually Hey there everyone, so today I'm going to be doing an unboxing and review of the FireHiking wood stove. I got this off Amazon the other day, and at the time of this video I paid $420 for it. I picked this up so that when I'm out ice fishing, hunting, hiking, doing any kind of outdoor activities, I'd be able to keep warm and have something that is pretty easy to be able to carry around in my backpack. So let's just break into this, see what we got. So right on top you get this really nice thick carrying case. It looks like it's about 2-ply. It's padded, so it doesn't seem like the titanium is going to really rip through that very easily. Next, you have a pair of cut-resistant gloves. You'll need these for when you're trying to roll up the stovepipe. These can have some really sharp edges, and if you're not using those gloves, you can cut yourself pretty easily. This comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 rings to help secure the pipe, which is a lot more than they had in some previous videos I had, so maybe that's an upgrade they've made. It also comes with a spark arrestor. So on the one that I got, it doesn't have any of the fold-in tabs that I noticed on some of the reviews online. I believe maybe they got rid of that just because it was a safety hazard. A lot of people were kind of complaining that there was a lot of creosote building up. So that's possible why they got rid of that. They do have these little fold-in tabs here, which will just kind of push in when you're installing your stovepipe, and that'll help hold your stovepipe on top, so it'll give lots of room for your smoke and ash to escape without going back down into your tent. You got the flute here. When you're starting your fire, you're going to want to make sure that this flue is all the way open, and then throughout the burning of the fire, make sure this is open all the time to allow all the bad gases to escape, all the smoke to escape, and it won't be going back and building up inside your tent. When you're not using your fire or the fire is completely out, you can close this, and that'll make it so cold air isn't blowing back through your chimney and into your tent. And then finally, we have the wood stove. So it comes with these nice Velcro straps. So when you unstrap these, aside for now, this is going to be the top of the wood stove. So that's everything it comes with here. So right off the bat, we're going to open it up. This is the first time I've put this together, guys, so you're going to be seeing what I'm seeing for the first time and struggling with me. So when you're sliding the side in, there's 3 tabs. There's one on the side here, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you want to make sure all those are lined up. And then you just slide that right down and give it a quick push, and that'll clip in. When you're doing the opposite side, it's the same thing. Turn this around so you can see. The tabs, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 on this side. So line those up. It's also good to note that these are interchangeable. This glass window will be able to go on either side. And the one thing about glass windows you'll want to know is that'll be where the more heat comes out. On the titanium side, there won't be as much heat coming out that side as the side with the glass. So you always want the glass side facing you. It always also gives a nice little bit of ambiance too, so make you feel a little more comfortable seeing that fire at night and knowing when it is getting lower and starting to burn out, then you'll know that you need to add a little bit more heat. So next we're going to go and we'll put on our top. So that just slides on nice and easily. It has these little tabs you'll have to make sure are back. So this tab, I don't know how well you can see that. It'll just slide right over top there. All 4 of them are the same. On this side, it slides right over like that. Turning it around. This side slides right over. And on this side, it'll slide right over again. So you got your front of the stove with a little door that opens up. And here's going to be the legs on the bottom. It's a little more flimsy than I thought they were going to be. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's not so bad. Once they lock open, I'm sure it'll be pretty strong, but it'll just be like that. So to install the flute, you'll have to remove these 3 knurled handled bolts. Make sure you don't lose these. I wish they gave you a couple extras just in case, but they don't, so you just make sure you be careful when you're out, especially if you're out in the snow or something. If you drop these, you might not be able to find them again. And then you'll put your flue on right over top of that. Stack facing up, and you'll want the adjusting knob at the back. These are knurl handled so that you can get a grip on them. Screw them in very easily, even if your fingers are wet or not. I actually really like that feature. It's pretty nice. You can get that in pretty tight too. Then you'll just be able to turn that kind of back and forth. So that's closed. That'll be open, partially open. So on this damper, it comes with a knurl handled knob. It's what you'll use to open the damper up and close the damper. When you are starting your fire, you want to make sure that this is open all the way. That'll help the airflow go through really good and help ignite your fire really good. And then as the fire starts to burn more and more and gets hotter and hotter, you'll be able to close this a little bit, and that'll help conceal some of the heat in there. It'll slow the burn down a little bit and make the wood last a little bit longer. Another thing I want to note is that if you put a whole bunch of firewood in here and you try to light it up, there won't be very good airflow through, so it won't light up right away. So what you want to do is start with a little bit of kindling and get the flue nice and hot. And once the flue's hot and you add your extra wood, it'll be able to suck all that heat up through the stovepipe much easier, and that'll give you a nice fire. So another thing that's worth mentioning here, guys, is I really like they put in these reinforcements. They put these in the top and the bottom of the wood stove. And what these are going to do is it's really going to help with the warping of the stove. As this stove gets really, really hot, it's really susceptible to warpage, especially with these light, thin titanium wood stoves. So some of the other wood stoves on the market I've seen, and you can read in their comments, if they don't have these reinforcements, the stove is really, really likely to warp. So I really like that they put that little bit of extra into it, and I think this is a really good feature, and I really like that about this stove. I'm going to be rolling up the stovepipe. From what I've read online, this can be one of the most difficult parts of this process, so I'm going to take you guys through, show you what I'm doing, and this is my first time doing this, so hopefully you guys can learn from my mistakes if I make any. Hopefully I don't, and we'll see what happens. Sticks on here really tight. Oh, so one of these rings is just meant to hold this all together. And you can see that it kind of wants to come back on itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip this around and we're going to roll it up the opposite way. So now guys, I'm just re-rolling this up inside out. And I'm being very, very careful not to ding it or kink it. I'm just taking my time. And then once you have it rolled up the opposite way that it was rolled when you got it, you want to hold it here for about 30 to 45 seconds. And then I'm just going to start rolling up. I'm going to make sure I have my rings ready right beside me. And just take your time. And then as soon as you can, you want to be able to put all your rings on the one end. And then we're just going to keep rolling, taking our time. And as we're rolling, we're going to keep moving our rings slowly up the stovepipe. And so far I got it looking something like this. I don't know if this is right, but now I'm going to try to be rolling it back on itself and seeing if I can straighten it out. So I'm going to be rolling the opposite way that I was. So guys, one thing I noticed is I can't really get it to go straight here, and I noticed it just kind of feels too tight and my gloves keep sliding on here. So I don't know why I'm recommending this, but for my technique, what I did, just because my hands are a little bit grippier, you just have to be really careful. You could really grip it and turn it a lot easier if you just use your fingers, or if you were to get some gloves that have a little bit more grip on them, I think. And that really just helped it go right into place, no problem, by just using my hands. Again, you'd have to be really careful, or use some gloves that have some grip, but at least that's what I noticed. It seemed to work much better when I just used my hands there at the end. But yeah, that's the stovepipe so far. I'm gonna put the spark arrestor on and we'll see what it looks like in the stove. So I'm just going to do a demonstration with this piece of paper, guys. When you're rolling it up, at the end it's going to kind of look like this. Your edges aren't going to be flush and it's not going to be even. So when you're done rolling it up, you almost want to back roll it the opposite direction you are rolling it and be pulling on this in the same direction until everything becomes flush, kind of like this. And then that's what you'll see here. So when we were rolling it up, these ends weren't completely flush. So before you put your spark arrestor on, you're going to want to make sure you fold down these little tabs here. Oh, you should probably be using like a knife or something and not your finger, but what that's going to do is it's going to make it so your stovepipe doesn't go all the way to the back of your spark arrestor, and then that would make it so no air is escaping. So you definitely don't want that. This is just meant to have your stovepipe rest on top of these tabs, and I'll show you guys that here in a second. So when you go to put your spark arrestor on, it may not fit, so you might have to roll this in a little bit more. Again, just be very, very careful. Just like that. And that'll rest straight on the top there. And then you could even move your rings down a little bit. Oh no, I got a little ding in there. I feel like this isn't... So when I'm going to install this onto the actual stove or onto the flue, you guys are gonna have to move this ring back because otherwise it's gonna be too tight. And then you're gonna wanna slide it on very gently. And then once it's on there, line everything up nicely. You can just kind of push her down, and then you'll slide that ring down until it's tight. And then that'll help hold this on the flue and on the stove, and it should stay up nice and straight. I did get a little ding kind of towards the top there, but I don't think that's too bad for my first time. So guys, this is the first burn off I'm having with this FireHiking wood stove. So far everything's good. I started it up with just a little bit of pine kindling. I've loaded it right up now. I probably can't see from the angle right now, but I'll come a little closer later. This is just full of wood and this is burning awesome. You can see the smoke is coming out of the stack here. It's coming out really good. The only thing is it's kind of blowing in the wind a little bit. I'm worried it's, I don't think it's gonna fall over or anything, but I really wish now that I actually strapped it down. Right now it's a little too hot for me too, but so far so good. I'm just gonna be burning it off for about an hour here, then I'll be able to use it in the tent after. So yeah, that's just roaring now. I'll try to come out tonight and so I can get some better shots. You can see on the top it's already starting to get some nice bluing on it. And through the seams I can't really see any smoke coming out. It is pretty bright right now, but I'll be able to tell more at nighttime. You can really see the smoke coming out of the top there though. So it seems like everything's working as it should. It was getting a little bit windy and the stove was blowing a little bit. So I ended up putting some steel wire around the middle section here and just tying a rope to a log here just to make sure that that didn't fall over. If that did fall over, that would bend that stovepipe pretty good. So you definitely want to make sure that doesn't happen because those are pretty expensive. So just as another test, I wanted to see how long it would take to boil some water on here. So I just got a pot filled up with some cold water and we're going to see how long it takes. Right now it's about 12:53. So, yeah, once that starts boiling, I'll let you guys know. I'll put a big piece here, see if this will even fit. So, yeah, that is actually a pretty big piece of wood there that I threw in there. So, I'm surprised that actually fit. So, the water is really boiling now. That only took, it was definitely less than 10 minutes. So, that's really impressive. I feel like in the center here is a little bit more hot than the front here. So if you are going to boil something, I feel like the hotter spot's kind of in the back. That's really good to know. Just give you a quick update on the inside here. That thing is just blaring hot. And yeah, smoke's still pouring out of the top and it doesn't seem like it's leaking anywhere. So far so good. You can see all the bluing on the stove now really well. Glass is still staying pretty clear. There's a little dark spot here at the back, but oh well, you can see that. And here are a few shots showing the ambience of the fire burning at night. So I'm just going to be doing a quick teardown of the stove now, guys, and just to see if there's any warping that went on, see if everything packs up nicely again. So I'll take the flue off. I want to put these screws right back in the top so you don't lose them. Undo the little clamps. Top comes off. You can see that that is a little bit warped, but that is expected. Legs fold back in. This goes back on top, just like that. I'm going to be leaving the stovepipe wrapped up still, as in a couple days I'm going to be testing it out in a tent, and we're going to be seeing how that goes. I'll also be making a video of that, but that won't be until the next time around. So Until then, we'll see you guys. I hope everyone has a great night wherever they are. And if you like this video and you found it helpful, please like and subscribe. And yeah, hit that thumbs up button. Thanks so much.